Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Let the Right One In. And this movie came out in 2008, and it's a Swedish film that I have never seen before. It's a vampire movie, and I thought it was pretty great and very enjoyable. It's directed by Thomas Alfredson, the same director as The Snowman, which he directed later on in his career. And I remember that movie being bad, but I heard this movie was supposed to be really good. And so I checked it out, and that was definitely a good decision because there was a lot that I got out of it. It was very well shot, and the music was mostly good and never once detracted from any scene in which it was present. And there were plenty of scenes that chose to have no musical score. Certain ones that made it that much more intense and just unsettling. Like anything can happen. The music's not telling you how to feel or what's going to happen. Like anything can be interpreted. The worst could possibly happen. What's going on here? And this movie had really good setups towards the beginning, and eventually you see some payoffs. And I thought that was really well done. And there's lots about this movie that I really love. I love the character dynamics and the relationship between our two main leads, Oscar and Eli. I thought was pretty great and was really keeping me going throughout the entire film. And this movie is just under 2 hours long, and I personally did not feel the runtime, despite it being slower paced. Like, if the slow pacing is gonna bug you, then it's just gonna bug you. But if you're like me and you don't mind the slow pacing, as long as it's in service of something, like giving nice visual eye candy to look at, whether it be shot composition or just like anything going on within the film that's really nice to look at or listen to, or just like filmmaking that adds to the experience, and I think I'll be thoroughly entertained throughout this movie at the very least. And this movie has a really great script that helps it out a lot, and there isn't too much dialogue from memory. Like, I'm not thinking a whole lot about the dialogue when I think of this movie. I mostly am thinking of just like simple actions, simple scenes that happen with no music, and it's just you get the point across, and that's it. You just see everything. It's a classic case of show don't tell, and there's some moments that I really enjoyed. And one criticism that I do have about this movie is the CG was kind of distracting and didn't really hold up the very best, and that's mostly just like little parts, and there's not really a whole lot in the movie. And most of it is in camera and wasn't distracting in that sense. And there was a scene where a victim is captured early on in the movie, and the first one is like genuinely disturbing with how they show it, and just these tiny little clues that they leave when they show that, I do feel as though it adds a lot to the characters. But I will say one criticism that I did have with showing horrific imagery like that, if it was trying to be just scary, I feel as though if they showed just a little bit less and left things up to interpretation as to what was going on just a little bit more, I think it would have helped out the movie a bit more. And my only other criticism with this movie would be just some sounds that were coming independently of the movie and not from the movie itself, like little jump scary moments for no reason, and I just felt as though it could have been a bit more restrained. But that's really my only issues with the movie. And honestly, they don't appear in the movie all that much, and most of my criticisms are just little things. I love the romance angle of this movie that they try to hint at, and there's so many aspects to our main character in terms of his personal drama that in any other movie would just be beating you over the head with it and just spelling everything out and just nonstop. But in this movie, it's kept more or less to a minimum to really focus in on what you would want to see. You want to see the dynamic between our two main leads. You want to see the vampire, because this is a vampire movie. And when they say let the right one in, I do feel as though that's like a clever little idea that they could have had for the title of the movie, and how that comes into play later on in the film. I think that's really something that caught me off guard and wasn't expecting. And this movie ended in a way that I found to be very satisfying and really loved overall. And when it was over, I was like, wow, that's it? Great. I love that. And there was one tiny moment in this movie that reminded me of what we do in the shadows. It was when Eli was trying to eat food, and that was pretty funny. Like, not in the context of this movie, but it's just funny that I thought of that. Like, if you've seen What We Do in the Shadows, you'll understand why that was funny to me. And that's about all I have to say about Let the Right One In. I thought it was great, loved it, wanted to see it again. It's free to watch on Amazon Prime if you don't mind watching through some ads, but at least you don't have to rent the thing. So that's a plus. It's free to watch there if you're already subscribed. And I would definitely recommend that you check it out. So with all that being said, I'm going to give Let the Right One In a 9 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Let the Right One In, and my social media links. They will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for the American remake of Let the Right One In, called Let Me In, directed by Matt Reeves. And if there was anything that I didn't say about Let the Right One in this review, because it wasn't a huge standout because this was my first time watching it, it'll probably stand out more after I watch the remake, depending on how well or how terrible they handle certain things. So I'm not expecting this to be good, but we'll see how it is. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.